Alright, I've got power up cooldown effects for the ColorChange Proffieboard fork for Crossguards. So a few weeks back I introduced power up and cooldown for the single blades. So I finally got around to creating the power up and cooldown effects for Crossguard. So these only run on the ColorChange fork currently. I do have the library available with a number of styles, but you will need the fork to run this. So all these styles feature the power-up effect, which is when you first ignite, you're going to get a burst of color, and that's meant to be like all the energy just unleashing. And it's a quick effect, and then the blade will actually fade into itself and run normally. And cooldown is a new effect for this fork. There's actually two of them. There's a cooldown effect when you retract, so as you retract the blade actually kind of disassembles as if it was losing power. And then after a lockup, so either the localized lockup or the force lightning lockup, when you release the lockup, there's a cooldown effect as if the blade was kind of reestablishing itself after having either crossed sabers or blocked a force lightning attack. So I've got a number of styles. I'll show a few of them here, but the rest are available in the library. So this is my unstable effect for Kylo. This is color change, so it's got the color change effects, but then this also has power up and cooldown. So here's the power up. And then you saw that quick burst of power, and now cooldown. And that's really quick because there's a quick retraction time. So again, power up, and then the blade settles in. And then the cooldown effects. And then the second cooldown effect is after a lockup. So if we do a localized lockup, which would be blade to blade, when you release it, you'll see the blade kind of settles back, and that's meant to be the blade gaining itself. And then also after the force lightning block. And then the blade settles back. So that's the cooldown for after a lockup. And then this style also contains the drag, which everybody's showing nowadays, which is when you drag across the floor. And then it's got, of course, regular clash, blast, so all those effects are built in. And then this is color change, so you can actually do the color change on the fly. Or, since this one's using a scroll mode, I can actually activate scroll mode. Oops. And then it'll scroll through the colors until I get to the color I want, and then I can actually lock that in. So I'll let it roll back around the red. And now I've locked back in the color. So with this unstable, with the color scroll, you can change it on the fly, or you can use the scroll mode. But these all feature now that power up and cooldown effect. And then I'll show you another one.
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
So this is my pull to the darkness style, which I've had for a while, but now this is on demand with power up and cooldown. So now when I first ignite this, the blade's actually going to be blue, and that's meant to be Ben Solo's blue, but there will be the power up effect. And now on demand, anytime I want, I can do the pull to the darkness, which is the corruption of Ben Solo to Kylo Ren. So you'll see the blade slowly change from regular blue into the unstable red. And now it will stay unstable red until I decide to change back. And either of the styles, the blue or the red, they do have the localized lockup with the cooldown effect. And then force lightning lockup with cooldown. And then there's the cooldown on retraction. And now, since these are on demand, this blade will stay red until I decide I want to change back to blue. And then the blue will now revert back to the blue blade. And then again, we get localized lockup with the cooldown effect, force lightning lockup with cooldown, and then you can also get your tip drag. Oops. And that's the pull to the darkness. So that's got the power up and cooldown effect as well. And I have a few others all available, so I invite you to take a look at the library. There'll be a link, and you can play around with these styles. You do need the color change fork, so that'll be linked in the library as well. But hopefully you all enjoy.